Hey guys, thanks again for checking out the Film Geek. This week I'm going to be covering movies that are just weird. Weird in different ways. Maybe they're a weird comedy, a weird horror movie, whatever the case may be. So this week I'm kicking things off with 1981's Time Bandits.
Yes, well, there we are. Congratulations. Well done. Yes, there we are. Well done. Congratulations. Is that absolutely necessary?
Orders to do it, do you?
Yes. What did he say?
He says, yeah, he's afraid it is.
Ah, fine. There we are, madam. Congratulations. Well done. Jolly good.
Time Bandits is the story of a 10-year-old boy who's taken off on an adventure through time and even a little bit of dimension hopping. A group of little people known as the Time Bandits. Time Bandits was written and directed by Terry Gilliam. And the main reason that Terry Gilliam even wrote the movie was because he kind of ran out of cash and was completely broke and he really needed something really bad. And that just so happened to be Time Bandits. While this film was being made, Terry Gilliam actually had to stop filming every so often because he started busting out laughing so hard. Sometimes he even had to leave the set completely just to calm down. Fun fact about how this film got funded, it was actually helped out by a former Beatle, and that was George Harrison. This wasn't George Harrison's first time helping out a Monty Python-esque movie. Also helped fund the movie Life of Brian. Basically, this movie was really weird, the humor was really strange, and no major studios really wanted to take on a film like this. It just seemed to them like it was going to be a big budget flop. Now, the child actor who played Kevin in this movie is just great. He's not your average annoying little 10-year-old kid that's running around in a movie just there to get a younger audience involved in the film. Now, this kid actually has some pretty good acting chops. He really makes you feel sorry for him, and you really want everything to work out for him as the whole movie progresses and the story unfolds. Kevin is played by an 11-year-old Craig Warnock. The best part about everything is that Craig really did hold his own. Absolutely fantastic cameo appearances in this movie, such as Sean Connery and John Cleese. He really does hold his own with all the jokes with even such great actors as those. There's also a Star Wars alumnus in this film, and that is R2-D2 himself, Kenny Baker. I actually have a great story that has to do with Kenny Baker. As I've said before, I actually helped out at the Planet Comic Con here in town in its early days. And I got to actually be the handler for Kenny Baker when he was one of our first guests at Planet Comic Con. And Kenny was just fantastic. He was a wonderful human being, and he was really one of the best celebrities that I ever got to deal with in the early days of Planet Comic Con. He was certainly a joy, and he helped me fulfill a dream of mine, and that was to actually have a conversation about Star Wars with an original cast member of Star Wars, but one of my all-time favorites, and that is R2-D2. Kenny Baker plays Fidget in this movie and one of the more major characters of the Time Bandits. And he's great, he's a lot of fun, his comedic timing is spot on, and it's really good to see old Kenny outside of the suit for once, just being himself. In 2016, we lost Kenny. He passed away, but he will always go down as one of my all-time favorite celebrities that I've gotten to meet. Speaking of Comic Cons and comics in particular, if you're also out there collecting, Marvel Comics did do a one-shot comic of Time Bandits. I don't know how much it's worth, I don't know much about this comic, just something I came across when I was doing a little bit of research. So hey, collectors out there, if you want to see the comic book movie adaptation of Time Bandits somewhere out there, it's been published by Marvel Comics. Good news, Time Bandits is streaming out there. If you have a Hulu subscription, you can watch it right now. Also, if you have a subscription to HBO Max, it's on there also. And all Prime members, you will also find Time Bandits free to watch right now. This is one of my all-time favorite movies from this time period. I sat there the other night and I watched this to refresh myself on the film before I did this video, and let me tell you, I loved every second of it. I felt like a little kid watching this movie again. And the thing that I love so much about this movie is how influential it was on what would be my pretty much overall taste in movies in future years to come. This movie really heavily influenced me for my love of the absolutely off-the-wall, weirdo, bonkers movies. As I said, this movie came out in 1981. I was 6 years old when this movie came out, and I'm fairly certain I saw it around that same time period. I recall my parents renting it, and it was on HBO constantly in the early 80s. Every time I watched it, I laughed at it, I got a little cry, maybe a little teary-eyed at some parts of it, and I was scared, and this movie was great. It influenced so much of what I love in movies. It's crazy. Also helped lead to my love with Monty Python. I asked my dad more about this movie, and he said, hey, you think that movie's funny? Let's watch some PBS, kiddo. Not only Monty Python's Flying Circus, but of course Doctor Who, which maybe one of these days I'll get into that, but right now I'm talking Time Bandits. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and as I always say, folks, keep watching movies, because you know I'm gonna.